Johnny Cage, Scorpion, Li Mei, BoRaiCho, Hsu Hao.
Hey everyone, it's Critical Art 64 Caesar here with the first episode of Design Redemption, where I get failed designs, break them down, roast them up, and serve them with a side of French fried potatoes. I chose Mortal Kombat first since it is near and dear to my heart, it being the first fighting game I've ever played. There are plenty of classic designs that everyone loves, but there are, like in every fighting game, some duds. In this episode, I'll cover 3 characters, them being Li Mei, BoRaiCho, and the absolute worst Mortal Kombat character of all time, Hsu Hao.
I'll tell you, life ain't easy for a boy named Hsu.
Now, the thing with Hsu Hao, he's supposed to be Mongolian, but he looks more like a cholo who escaped from the village people. He has a robot heart implant put in by the same guy who did Kano's eye. So I think it's pretty funny that there's like a scientist in the Black Dragon clan that makes LED infused body prosthetics. Like he would make like a glowy peg leg or something like that. Development team nicknamed Hsu Hao here Reverse Jax, since he has a robot body and human arms. But I think the opposite of Jax would actually be a robot with black dude's arms. Yeah. Now Hsu Hao is so disliked, even the staff hates him. You know, they keep killing him off over and over again. Jax ripped his robot heart out in Deception. Scorpion punched a fucking hole through his head in the comics. And Aaron Black carries his perfectly preserved head around for some reason in his intro. Now, one weird fashion choice is, you know, the whole commie hat without the shirt. Kind of reminds me of the scene with the sadomasochistic Cossacks in Rock and Roller. All right, so you know his wrestling stance and his style kind of reminds me of Nacho Libre, and his Sui Chao style stance looks like he's trying to do the WAP. All right, well, let's see what we can do. I think first off, I would lean a little bit more into the military design, so I gave him a full CCP military uniform. That would make more sense because in the story he infiltrated the special forces and betrayed them. I mean, if you got fooled by his old look here, then the special and special forces would have entirely different connotations. Now, to shake up his design a little, I also gave him prosthetic eyes, which is kind of a stupid little nod to Mulan. I mean, they were supposed to be Mongolians. They called them Huns in the movie, but they had the weird eyes. Give Hsu Hao that. I wanted to make the sketches here look kind of like the concept art from Deadly Alliance. So I went with the overexposed watercolor look. Also made the lines look more pencil-y. Now the background I just drew up real quick just to get some background drawing practice and get the color schemes just right. I would want to give him a vibe like the villain in Fist of Legend, the captain guy, or maybe Dragunov from Tekken. Also everyone's favorite cybernetic National Socialist Party member Stroheim from JoJo's was kind of a cybernetic military guy. Story-wise, I would make him an envoy of the Chinese military who then colludes with the Red Dragon Society to figure out how to take Outworld supernatural power for himself. So maybe he's like really power hungry. I would keep his chest laser as well. He'd be all like, or just blast a hole through his shirt. But that's the first design. Still a jobber, but an improvement by my estimation. Next up is BoRaiCho. Now this guy's a fucking meatball. Now I'm supposed to believe this guy trained Kung Lao, Liu Kang, Li Mei, and Shujinko when he just runs around puking and farting everywhere. It's fucking ridiculous. His name is ridiculous because It's not Chinese, it's actually Spanish. BoRaiCho is a play on the Spanish word for a drunkard, borracho. Yeah. Now that was intentional. Ed Boon did decide to do it that way. Now his old design looks like a Kung Fu Ron Jeremy. His new design is better, even though his voice and beard and vest scream Fiddler on the Roof.
Is something wrong?
Sounds crazy, no?
Now, I don't think he's the worst Mortal Kombat character, but he can certainly be improved. First, I would model his appearance more to Samo's teacher in The Magnificent Butcher. He was a fat, charismatic drunkard hobo guy that really could move. I would definitely put more focus on the drunken fist element and would make his style look more like a legitimate Sui Chan style. You got to give him the red nose and rosacea from being a wino. They pop the blood vessels in their face, so got more of a red face. I would say my design looks more like a derelict wise man than before. The latest version of Hsu Hao kind of looks like he could be one of my uncles. I feel his design was a wasted opportunity, especially because I always pick Drunken Fist characters. I main Lei in Tekken, Brad Wong in Dead or Alive, and Shun in Virtua Fighter. But I can't get over the barfing and farting. I would replace that maybe if he would like spit wine at people's faces. I think that would be cooler and funnier and more practical. I don't think I'd be able to fight if I just puked everywhere. I'd be out of commish. Last but not least is Li Mei. Now, in her first appearance, it looked like they were going for like a J-Lo, like a Jennifer Lopez kind of look. She looks more like a Puerto Rican than Chinese. Her main costume had a Hawaiian print on it. Interesting choice. Her other costume looks like a hooker, a version of Elektra. And then her costume in Deception looks like a lady hooker shredder. She's also a bit of a star f***er because she eventually hooks up with Onaga for some reason. Now they did redesign Li Mei. They brought her back as an NPC in Mortal Kombat 11. I think she perfectly represents a current phenomena, which is designs in the late 90s and the early 2000s would, the female designs would look inexplicably skanky. But then sometime during the mid to late 2010s and early 2020s, whenever they redesign the characters, they make the female characters look more aesthetically bland and safe. Maybe not to appear more realistic or not misogynistic. I think it's kind of boring. Her new design is weirdly eclectic. Her face says Mexican soccer mom. Her top says Game of Thrones. And her pants say, take me out to Applebee's and I'll rock your world. Her old fighting stance looked like a Tobey Maguire sachet. Okay, let's see what we can do. Since she's the Kung Fu girl, I'll throw her into a Ki Pao that accentuates her main character trait. The style they gave her in Deadly Alliance means water fist, so I gave her a watery stance. The tricky thing is that Mileena kind of owns purple in Mortal Kombat, so I made her design more Chinese to differentiate her. I did think it was really weird that they made her do a full hill turn when she went from sacrificing herself to protect and free her village, but then she sees Onaga and was all like, God damn it, you're handsome. Fuck everybody. Fuck everyone else. I'm all about the ratchet life now. They could have just phoned it in with her. I mean, they had it set up where Quan Chi and Shang Tsung were fooling her like they did with Scorpion. Maybe she inadvertently, I would probably do it where she inadvertently messes something up for the good guys so that she has pathos to continue fighting as an ally. It's a shame that they messed her up because Mortal Kombat doesn't really have a good Kung Fu girl character. I mean, Kitana's kind of more of a ninja chick. And the Chinese Kung Fu girl is one of the main fighting game tropes out there. I mean, the first woman in a fighting game was Chun-Li, who is a Chinese kung fu girl. And every fighting game with a co-ed roster with men and women has a kung fu Chinese girl of some sort. Definitely a missed opportunity. So those are my designs. Definitely like, comment, and subscribe if you want to see a character design rehabilitated. Let me know in the comments below, and I hope to see you in the next video.